Hear me now. I'll move it back
Wow.
a little bit. They said they couldn't hear me before. So. They call the August 24th meeting, 2026 of Mount Vernon City Council to order. Please call the roll.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Severns.
Here.
Mr. Jacklin.
Here.
Mr. Ruckman.
Here.
Ms. Keener. Mr. Mahan.
Here.
Mrs. Hager.
Here.
We are in session. Excuse.
Make a motion to excuse Miss Keener. Second.
And move to second. Ms. Skinner be excused. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. She is excused. Council, in your packets are the minutes of the August 10th meeting. Are there any additions or corrections? If not, I'd ask for a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
And moved and second, they be approved. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They are approved. We have any petitions or communications?
We're gonna do invocation tonight.
We do not.
Okay,
Would we like to do the invocation?
yeah, we will.
Okay.
The invocation this evening will be given by Reverend Charles Wilson from St. Paul's Episcopal Church. Happens to be the church I go to, so I know this guy. So please rise for the invocation. Remain standing for the pledge.
Good evening, council and gathered folks of our city. I'd like to set the context for my prayer with the words of Abraham Lincoln. He wrote, "The dogmas of the quiet past are inadequate to the stormy present. The occasions are piled high with difficulty, and we must rise with the occasion. As our case is new, we must think anew and act anew." Let us pray. Gracious God, we give thanks for those gathered here who seek to be present to this city, to this community. We ask that you give them open ears, thoughtful minds, clear hearts, and good reason as they navigate the challenges, the opportunities, and the blessings of leadership in this community, and for all of us who seek them to lead us in your will and your good cause. All these things we have deep in our hearts, and those prayers which we speak freely with our lips, we ask that you hear us. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have no petitions or communications. Committee reports are in your packets. I see new liquor control licenses or proclamations. We do have a few people wanting to speak on matters of public concern, and I do apologize. Somehow, at our last meeting, Myron Scott was here, and I didn't get his request to speak. So I want to call on him first. Myron, please come to the podium and state your name and address, and tell us your matters of public concern.
Myron Scott. I live 36 Pies Drive, Vernon, Ohio. And I like to talk to you guys about putting sidewalks in here I live and down here the gas station there. I walk by it every day down there, and I think it'd be safe for me and everybody else. Unless to take the kids out, like we got wheelchairs or anything, to go down, let's get them out, take a ride down now. You know, get them out. That way they don't have to stay in the house so much.
So
Then I'm gonna have my friend here tell you the road I'm talking about.
Hi, yes, hello, I'm Summer, nice to meet you guys. So Myron walks a lot everywhere in town, and being somebody that is sometimes unstable, walking on the main roads where we have cars that go flying, I'm sure everybody here has seen on Eastwood Drive, right across from Kroger's, where people just go ripping up and down that hill. And he loves to walk down to the gas station or to Kroger's and get something to snack on or a drink. And with the cars flying through, it is unsafe. So he would like would really honestly love to see a sidewalk get put in there that people could use for public safety reasons. There's kids that play in those neighborhoods that will sometimes ride their bikes down the road, and yeah, so it would be Eastwood Drive over to Terrell Drive is where he is requesting a sidewalk to be put in at.
Eastwood.
Eastwood to Terrell.
Yes, Eastwood Drive and Terrell Drive. Is there anything else?
Interesting, I saw that Loudonville got like $1.8 million this week for sidewalks, and that's great.
And a bike lane.
Yeah, bikeways. Thank you, Myron. I apologize for our last meeting that we didn't catch your request, but we're glad you're here.
It'd be a lot easier for me. I like having it on the same side because the gas station is going up till I live.
Up Eastwood.
Yeah,
over to
please,
Terrell.
yeah, up that way and across the road from me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
We thank you and we appreciate your time.
thank
Go
you.
Go Bucks. I see
Yeah.
you with
Yeah.
Buckeye clothes on all the time when I see him walking.
Oh, yes, he brought a petition. He got some signatures.
Next person speaking is Mark Bowden. Bowen, and he wants to speak on block cameras. Please come to the podium and state your name and address and limit your comments to 4 minutes.
Yes, my name is Mark Bowen. Address is 2821 Burger Road in Mount Vernon here. I guess I'm under the assumption that the flock camera debate is still ongoing and has not been addressed as of yet. But I guess I had a few areas of concern, one of them being that since Mount Vernon has acquired the cameras and whatnot, has the Mount Vernon Police Department had availability or even the consideration of downsizing? If the cameras are so effective, then wouldn't it be apparent that maybe we could save some of the money by downsizing on the police force as well then? I guess in keeping with the newly updated privacy and accountability and securities transparency safeguards through flocks, the data retention has now been changed from 30 days down to 7. Did Mount Vernon Police Department choose to keep the 30-day standards, or are they too changing to the 7-day standards as Flock has now suggested? Excuse me. The chief of police 2 meetings ago mentioned someone in Mount Vernon Police Department is auditing the logs to avoid corruption. I guess my concern is that who is doing so? Is it another Mount Vernon police officer, or is it a third party coming in and doing so? I know that Flock has suggested that a third party be used. Where's the oversight if it's done from within? Who's holding who accountable? They themselves? I mean, I work for city government too, and I see that does not happen very often at all. It is overlooked. It is. Lately, there have been more reports coming out that the LPRs are misidentifying plates and at times ruining residents' lives, such as a Tennessee grandmother who spent months in jail over top of a facial misrecognition, or drivers jailed for weeks over top of swapped or misread plates. You know, how's Mount Vernon going to handle this when we come across this scenario here? Just something to think about. But I think that lastly is that if the police chief, safety managers, and you all, city council, have had the community's best interest in mind, wouldn't you also, at this point in time, have bagged the cameras until a peaceful resolution came to be? To me, you would seem to make it more of a topic of priority rather than kicking the can down the road. And it sounds to me as if some people are more concerned about making a name for themselves and moving on to the next position rather than addressing the community's concerns. And that's really all I have about right now.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
The next person wishing to speak is Joshua Morrison. Please come to the podium and state your name and address and limit your comments to 4 minutes. He also wants to speak on flock cameras.
Good evening. Joshua Morrison, 101 North Rogers Street, Mount Vernon, Ohio. It's been about a month since I last addressed you on the flock cameras. Since then, the city and flock announced changes were coming, and I really appreciate that the city is taking a really hard look at reconsidering their policy. I've also sent 2 emails with questions about those changes. I haven't received a response. Nothing new under that tree, so I'm okay with that. But I am worried that that is transparency and that is a problem. So tonight I'm going to be very clear about what I'm asking for. I want the city to turn the cameras off and end the flock contract. The Knox County Sheriff, Stockton County Sheriff backed out of their deals. Hundreds of cities across the country are getting out of flock contracts. If that many communities are talking about it, taking a hard look and dropping their contracts, I really don't want Mount Vernon to say, we got it, we know better, trust us. I want to address the 2 arguments from city leaders that we heard last time. The first one is privacy. Chief of Police said that people shouldn't have an expectation of privacy while driving. The 4th Amendment doesn't stop when you get in your car. The laws when it comes to search and seizure are going to catch up with technology. It's just coming. The fact that my license plate is visible from a public road doesn't answer the question of what the city can do with the records of where I drive. Observing a license plate is one thing. Creating thousands of records showing where vehicles have been, storing those records over time, and potentially allowing agencies and even insurance businesses to access them is something completely different. Residents deserve a better answer, and you have no expectation of privacy. Trust us. The second issue that I would like to bring up is the crime. We were told that without these cameras, crimes will increase. That will become a soft target. That's a very serious claim. The chief said that flock cameras had assisted in approximately 40 cases since 2023, early 2024, give or take. I'm not saying those 40 cases are not important. They are. So the question isn't whether flock can help solve a crime. Of course it can. The question is whether solving 40 cases is enough to justify collecting thousands of records about people who were never suspected of a crime in the first place. And if the city believes that removing flock will increase crime, then show us the evidence, actual evidence. Use citation, applicable web links, even include a footnote or 2. Put it in writing, put your name on it. Show us the audits. If audits are being conducted, put them online. It's paperwork. You can probably drag and drop it and publish it in seconds. If the system is being used properly, what's the problem with letting the public see those audits? I still have questions about who has access to this information. I have questions about federal access. I have questions about how that access is monitored. I have questions about whether the safeguards are actually working. And so far, I'm being asked to just trust us. Government surveillance does not operate on trust alone. It's not good enough. It should operate on necessity, accountability, and evidence. If the city cannot demonstrate that this system is necessary, that it provides a meaningful public safety benefit that cannot be achieved through less intrusive measures, then why are we still doing this? Turn the cameras off. And if someone wants to argue that Mount Vernon will be less safe without flock, then I want the argument backed up and on paper. Not fear, not a sales pitch, and certainly not trust us. Because the question isn't whether flock can help solve a crime. The question is whether helping solve approximately 40 cases is enough to justify watching thousands of people who were never suspected of a crime to begin with. Turn the cameras off. Thank you.
Thank you. Our final person wanting to speak on matters of public concern is Adam Burkham, and he wants to talk about corruption and accountability.
Hello, my name is Adam Burkham, and I got quite a few points, and I'm really happy that the flock guys have been here for this, because a lot of this kind of ties into that. So first off is, who hires and fires for the city positions? Like safety service director, all that. Who does that? You guys?
Sir, I don't think that we're supposed to be responding to you. I'm sorry.
Well, see, my problem is that I had a property broken into, and was told by the chief of police that he decides what gets investigated in this town. Property was stolen, property was vandalized, taken, and I had city employees on camera vandalizing. And when I told the safety service director about this, maybe a week later is when my property got broken into and stuff got stolen. So that's real suspicious in my opinion. So the police chief needs to be held accountable for dereliction of duty. The entire police department in this town needs to be held accountable for harassment. I got cops parking outside of my house in the middle of the night for no reason. Why is he there? Who's he watching? What's he looking for? Why is he parked? Why does he move from across the street of my house to the parking lot next to my house? So he can be at both ends for whatever reason. Then, I want to know why, because they do this in your name, code enforcement does. So when are you guys going to be held liable for my property that was stolen off of my property by the city of Mount Vernon? Because I was never served a warrant for the city to take my property. And last time I checked, a warrant has to be issued in order to take my stuff. Safety service director and the code enforcement all need to be held accountable for their actions, such as trespassing. The code enforcement officer is not allowed to enter your property to do anything unless he has a warrant. But I have seen in person and on the missing recorder box, code enforcement officers coming onto my property, tearing sections of my fence down so that they can send me a letter about the fence being broken. On the other hand of that, I got a letter from the city code enforcement officer again, because he said, you know, trees and car parts and whatever and whatnot, when in the picture that he sends me, none of that is there. So when you send me a picture of what you're complaining about, why is it not in the picture? So that's where my accountability all needs to come from. The flock cameras, I would also like to know, the two that are outside the city limits, are those city of Mount Vernon, or did the township out there put them in? Because the last time anything got put up online about the city's flock cameras, two of them, one past Ross Brothers on Tilden, that's outside city limits, and then up there where Tilden tees off, there's one there. So, but the last thing I saw, the map saw, said that those were city cameras, so I'd like to know why the city is placing flock cameras outside of the city limits. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Turn that off. Okay, council, in your packet is the agenda for tonight's meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? If not, I'll assume it's approved by consensus. And we'll move to resolutions. There are no resolutions tonight for third reading. We have one for second reading. That's resolution number 2026-87. Mr. Sherman.
A resolution renaming Shellmar Park in honor of John Francis.
Mrs. Hager.
Yes. I move to suspend the rule requiring 3 separate readings and take Resolution 2026-87 to its third and final reading.
Second.
Been moved and seconded for the suspension of the rules. Any discussion on the suspension? Mr. Sherman.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Severns.
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin.
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman.
Yes.
Mr. Mahan.
Yes.
Mrs. Hager.
Yes.
The rule is suspended. Mrs. Hager?
Council President, did you want to say something?
Yes, I do. I served for several years with Mr.
Do we need to move to adopt?
Oh.
Move to adopt.
Okay, yes, thank you. I move to adopt I move to adopt Resolution 2026-87.
Second.
Thank you.
Been moved and seconded for the adoption of this resolution. I'll go ahead and do some discussion. I served with Mr. Francis on City Council from 2012 to 2023. He worked especially with addressing drugs and creating Shellmar Park. He sat over here in his seat when we were at the other city chambers and said, "You people that have drugs, I'm going to get you." and he was very blunt. And they found needles and they found things out along the railroad tracks out of the northwest portion of town, and he was very clear. And he worked with the police department. He worked with others to work with the drug issue of that part of town. He loved that part of town. He still loves that part of town. And they created, there's where Shalimar Industry was, they created a park. And in that park, he wanted to have the kids in that area of town be able to play basketball and to go and have picnics and to have fun. And it's an area of town that didn't happen before. And he worked hard on that park. And so tonight, what we'd like to do is to dedicate that park in his name, because he did so much for the city, and he did so much for drugs, and he did so much for the parks and for people, especially the people in his ward, the second ward. He really cared. As a matter of fact, I remember a couple times when he had meetings down at Riverside Park in the shelter house. Shelter house was almost full of people from his ward. He says, I want people from my ward to come and tell me what they want me to do. And they came, and I remember it was the police chief from Danville, who was now our county sheriff. He came and talked, brought his police dog. And that's one of the first times we had police dogs, and he encouraged that type of thing to stop drugs. But John went to the people. He went out and talked to the people, and he said, what do you need? What do you want me to do? So I'm representing you in the second ward on city council. So he was a tribute to city council and to the city, and I think it's certainly right that we name this park in his honor, and renaming Shalimar Park in honor of John Francis. Any other discussion?
I would just really second Bruce's comments. I had the privilege of serving a little bit with John on city council, and I sat by him. He's a man of his word and really was here for the people, especially the people in his ward. And I think this would be amazing to do this. I actually ride my bike often through that area to get home, and I always see kids out there or adults out there playing basketball or whatever, and I've never seen anybody abusing any of the facility there. Now, I'm there in the daytime, I'm just being honest with you, and I ride by, and it's about a minute by the time I'm past the park, but I think this would be a great honor to do this for John. Thank you.
And there was a tree in that park that was dedicated to him, so he's certainly deserving all these things. I think this is a very appropriate resolution. Any other discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Sherman?
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Severns,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mrs. Hager.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted. Congratulations, John. Now I move to resolutions for first reading. The first one is resolution number 2026-89. Mr. Sherman.
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to apply for, accept, and enter into a Water Pollution Control Loan Fund Whipcliffe agreement on behalf of the City of Mount Vernon for planning, design, and/or construction of wastewater facilities, designating a dedicated repayment source for the loan, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Ruckman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to give this its first reading.
This resolution receives its first reading. We now move to resolution number 2026-90. Mr. Sherman.
A resolution authorizing and directing the auditor of the City of Mount Vernon to make supplemental appropriations.
Mr. Mahan.
Thank you, sir. We're going to give 2026-90 its first reading. I'm going to ask for a short committee meeting on September the 14th. Dan, would 5 minutes be? 5 minutes, please, Mr. Sherman, on the 14th.
This resolution also receives its first reading. We now move to resolution number 2026-91. Mr. Sherman.
A resolution authorizing and directing the auditor of the City of Mount Vernon to pay bills pursuant to Section 5705.41D, then and now certification.
Mr. Mahan.
Thank you, sir. I move to suspend the rules requiring 3 separate readings take Resolution 2026-91 to its third and final reading.
Second?
And move to second for the suspension of the rules. Any discussion on the suspension?
Council, this again is a current bill. And in order to pay that bill, I'm asking your indulgence to waive the readings tonight.
Mr. Sherman?
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Severns,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mrs. Hager.
Yes.
The rule is suspended. Mr. Mahan?
Mr. Brinkman, this is HR software, is that correct?
You need to put it on the floor.
I'm sorry, thank you. We seem to be specializing in this tonight. I move to adopt Resolution 2026-91.
And I second.
And move to second for the adoption of this resolution. Any discussion? Mr. Mahan?
I believe this is purchase of HR software. Is this a renewal or new software?
I believe it's new software, Mr. Mahan, and it's for, like you said, software, and there just wasn't a purchase order in place.
Any other discussion?
What's the total of the software?
$5,700 or $5,127.
Mr. Sherman?
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Severns,
Yes.
Mr. Jacklin,
Yes.
Mr. Ruckman,
Yes.
Mr. Mahan,
Yes.
Mrs. Hager.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. The final resolution for this evening is resolution number 2026-92. Mr. Sherman?
A resolution authorizing the Safety Service Director to accept guaranteed maximum price GMP package number 2 for certain components of the Mount Vernon Police Station project as set forth in Exhibit A, pursuant to the city's agreement with the construction manager at risk and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Mahan?
Council, I'm going to give this its first reading, and I'm going to request your help. The Finance Committee and Administration is asking for a special meeting the week of Labor Day. It's been explained to me that we can do one meeting if enough of us can be here to waive the rules, or we're going to need 2 meetings that week in order to do a second and third reading. The reason I'm asking for this special meeting is because this is a continuation of the police station construction, which is now underway, and the sooner we can get the funding for the follow-up items, the sooner they can continue construction. And anytime I've been told that a delay in this just leads to delays in construction. Is that correct, Mr. Mayor? Am I articulating that correctly?
Yes, it is, and thank you for that, Mr. Chair. And also, we did run into some soil issues that we needed to. I don't know if I'm coming through or not, but we did have some soil issues that we weren't counting on that we need to address, but we don't want to slow up the schedule. And so we're not asking for any approval tonight. We just need to gather some more information and present it. But we also want to make sure that we're keeping we're just staying on schedule with the way it's progressing. That's really basic.
I know September 7th is Labor Day, but if we could have a short meeting on Labor Day, that would help move this legislation forward. Is council amenable to that?
Yes.
Anybody who cannot be here on September 7th? Mr. Mahan's bringing the picnic.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last bit, but
I heard it.
We can meet as early as 5:30 or 6 in order to allow you to get on to your evening's activities.
What's your preference when to meet?
Can I ask one question about this? This isn't above and beyond what's already been established for the police station,
Yeah,
correct?
if you'll recall, this is guaranteed guaranteed maximum price 1.
Yes.
And then this is guaranteed maximum price 2. Together, they're going to be roughly $26 million. The first one we passed was $6 million and a little bit, and then this one is going to be 20-ish. Together, they're going to be about 26. Mr. Mayor, that's correct.
That is correct.
But in this, only the first 6 has been approved, so we need to approve. We need to approve the rest of it. So, Mr. Sherman, if you could get out a special meeting on September the 7th. Council, are you willing to meet at 5:30? and then we could be rolling and out of here quickly. Okay, not hearing any no's.
Yes.
5:30.
Yes.
This is a special meeting. Also, I believe, Mr. Ruckman, you also need an item at that special meeting, is that correct?
Yeah, I can ask for that at the end, since we're on
Okay.
the subject of yours.
All right, so now that special meeting, September the 7th, 5:30. Thank you, council, for your indulgence on that.
This resolution receives its first reading. We now move to ordinances. We have no ordinances for third reading. For second reading, we have ordinance number 2026-29. Mr. Sherman.
An ordinance fixing the number of hourly employees in the city of Mount Vernon in the fire department and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Ruckman.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to give this its second reading.
This ordinance receives its second reading. And we now move to ordinance number 2026-30. Mr. Sherman.
An ordinance authorizing the Safety Service Director to execute a contract with Enterprise Fleet Management for the leasing of city vehicles.
Mr. Mahan.
Thank you, sir. We're going to give this its first reading. I need a 10-minute committee meeting on the 14th. And, Mr. Mayor, it'd be good, I think, if we could have the department heads from the city, either streets or engineering or whoever would be most affected by this.
Excuse me.
Understand how they would
I
feel.
think that's a second reading on this.
Second reading.
I'm sorry. I'm going to give this its second reading. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption. I didn't mean to
I thought
break
this
your
was it.
train of thought. I just want to keep it in order.
Any others? This receives a second reading. We'll have a committee meeting. The final ordinance of this evening is for first reading. It's ordinance number 2026-31. Mr. Sherman.
An ordinance amending Chapter 1305 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Mount Vernon and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Ruckman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to give ordinance number 2026-31 its first reading.
This ordinance receives its first reading. That concludes the legislative portion of the meeting. We now move to remarks from administration. Mayor Starr.
Thank you, Mr. President and Council. Just a few congratulations are in order this evening. I wanted to point out congratulations to Dan and Brittany on your new baby. Also, congratulations to Tanner Salyers and Randy for their new baby here recently as well. So, you all are doing your duty to increase the population here, keep our birth rates up. Thank you very well. Also, I want to thank Mrs. Heger for covering the Bill Barber Day at Irish Hills. So Bill Barber and Irish Hills celebrated their 50th anniversary, and we named the day after Bill Barber in his honor, and they had a great golf tournament, and he's done a great, that family has just been wonderful to the city, so congratulations to them. Tomorrow evening, right in this room, we will have some local stars here presenting at the Washington Forum. This is From Print to Posts, the evolution of local media. So Ms. Cheryl Splain will be among the people here who will be talking about how our country has changed in the way the media is administered and how it's followed in the news. One of the things that struck me about the e-bike discussion is so much of an emphasis on education, and I think the City of Mount Vernon has a really good head start on this because recently, on August 2nd, we had Safety Town at the Ariel Foundation Park. We had 68 youngsters, K through third grade, participate in understanding the road signs, road safety, signals, and so forth. It was done in conjunction with our Police and Kids United, as well as the Mount Vernon City School District. And speaking of the Barbers, Heather Barber was there, who has coordinated this program and is able to take this on the road, no pun intended, but they take it to schools and so forth. And again, it's very important that we establish safety early in the child's part of their life to where they're learning to ride bikes. And I heard one little youngster who was, I think, in the second grade. Now I get to ride on the road with mom and dad. So this was very important. We give them all helmets as well. So we've got some good momentum here, and it's something to build upon, obviously. So anyway, just wanted to mention that. It was also a great Mount Vernon Music and Arts Festival. Thank you for the volunteers and the sponsors and everybody who made that happen. We're also looking forward to the very last First Friday of the year, on September the 4th, I believe it is. This is back to school. So we will also have a booth. The city will have a booth in front of our office out here. So we look forward to seeing you there. And then happy Labor Day. We will see you on the 7th for a short meeting, but it will be impactful. So anyway, that is all, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Brinkman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to take a second to thank God and my wife for the birth of our second son, Michael Lawrence. Little guy, 5 pounds, 13 ounces, so very small. But we're very blessed and we're very thankful. So thank you, Mr. President.
What's going around City Hall between Zach and you and Tanner?
Something in the city water, I don't know.
Don't drink it. Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Stoller, we're trying to increase the population here.
I'll add to that for Dan. Congrats to Dan and Tanner, you know, and also I served with, I didn't serve, but I was a treasurer for a couple of years while John Francis was on council, so appreciated his input, and I'm glad we named the park after him. And also I'd like to say, I have this computer, and I have a computer at home, and another computer that I use. I have my phone. I go to withdraw money from the ATM. I get my picture taken. I go to flying somewhere, my picture's taken. Go into Lowe's, check out, my picture's taken. Kroger. I'm surveilled all the time, and I've had my identity stolen, and so I pay several $100s a year so it doesn't happen again. But flock cameras don't rise on my radar, so I'm just saying there's a lot of things out there, and flock cameras are not, for me, it doesn't rise on the radar. Thank you.
Mr. Braun.
I have nothing, thank you.
Mrs. Hager.
Nothing tonight, Mr. President. Thank you.
Mr. Jacklin.
So I'm going to slightly rebut that just a little. I am concerned about flock cameras. I'm concerned that we are taking steps forward in surveillance that don't need to be taken. I'm also concerned that every time I walk into a store that my picture is taken. I think that there are unnecessary steps in whittling away at our personal privacy, and I want to be very clear that it has nothing to do with these police officers in this city. Flock is an interesting, and I think it's important to keep saying their name, because there are ALPRs, sorry if I got that wrong, that are closed loop systems. The problem that I have personally with Flock is that it is a cloud-based service that anybody can search. And if you get, it doesn't have to be our police officers. We could have the greatest accountability in Mount Vernon, Ohio, but if a police officer in Waukesha, Wisconsin wants to know what his ex-girlfriend in Mount Vernon is doing, he can find that out. And I think that that is deeply disturbing, and that creates a level of accountability that we aren't prepared for. Thank you.
Mr. Severance.
Yes, so congratulations to all those families who are having babies. I will not be joining that crowd ever again. So, been through there, been through that time. I did ask Mr. Brinkman tonight, and I will probably ask him to do this again, to give us some information on what TIF money has done for Mount Vernon, City of Mount Vernon, what TIF money has done.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Severance. So since the beginning of 2020, this is how far I went back in our search. These TIFs go back a lot further, as you all know. We've had a lot of improvements to our 3 major TIFs across the city. The largest TIF being, of course, the Coshocton TIF, where we've spent $10.7 million in improvements in just that 5.5-year span. We've done work on Yager Road, Venture Drive, improvements by Danbury, as well as water lines extended to there. Upper Gilcrest Road, there was an Ohio Public Works loan that's since been paid off, that was paid through the TIF. Eastmore Drive, water main improvements. We built a retaining wall, Colonial Heights water install. There's a battery backup system for streetlights on Coshocton, other signal repairs. More water lane work in Gilcrest Estates and other areas. Culvert in Verndale and Marita Street. Cleaning of a stormwater pond, traffic light signal retiming before our current upgrades, which is radar-based, which we just started implementing this year. There's some Gilcrest Estates inspection work for their utility installs that we paid for. A lot of strategic plan stuff that we've been able to use the TIF to partially cover. Carried also a percentage share of the phosphorus designs for the wastewater treatment plant, beginning of that work a couple years ago. Some Upper Gilcrest widening, design work, radar that we talked about. A lot of underground videography to check the efficacy and how well the utility lines are doing underground. And then the bulk of it's been street resurfacing and sidewalks on Coshocton, new pedestrian crossings, new water meters, cattle dam work, curb and ramp work in Coshocton. I'm almost done. Just a few more things. Design work, which we talked about. And then for the industrial TIF, it's paid for a U.S. bank bond that was originally for Blackjack Road, and for the Sandusky TIF. Currently, it's paying for some work on West Burgess and Greenwood just this past year. So that's just the last 5.5 years.
I wanted to ask him to give us that information because, you know, we have a vote coming up on the TIF related to the Arista Villas, and it's my understanding that this builder is going to come whether or not we pass this. They're coming. So why not pass a TIF so that we would benefit all of our community with a lot of money? So I may ask him to do that again on that evening when we're voting. But I think it's important for us to see how much the TIF has really done to improve Mount Vernon. Thank you, Mr. Brinkman. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. Mahan.
Thank you, sir. I want to add my congratulations to the, and appreciate, Dan, that was wise of you to thank your wife. But Zach, Dan, and Tanner and their families and on those additions. You guys are good people, and it's a privilege to work with you. I want to add my support. One of the gentlemen this evening spoke about a third-party audit. I agree that if we have license plate cameras, there ought to be a way to do a third-party audit. I don't know what that looks like. I don't have necessarily suggestions, but I think that's a good idea. I also realize this has nothing to do with the city of Mount Vernon, but to what extent we can bring pressure on our state to increase the safeguards. For instance, there are penalties, and I believe I was told it's a felony 5 for misuse of certain law enforcement information systems. And I think that license plate cameras should be added to that. If someone misuses that, then they should be subject to significant penalties. I also really appreciate council's indulgence on this special meeting. I had a question. Why don't we do it next Monday, August 31st? We don't have, if you notice the draft this evening, there is no number there. And so we are, our construction manager at risk and our owner's representative, as stated in the legislation, are negotiating that. And those are spirited negotiations, and they're time consuming. So what we really need that time to get you a final correct product. Am I saying this right, Mr. Mayor? And Dan, we don't have the final numbers yet, and there's a lot of rough draft that needs to be worked out so we can get you a finished product when we bring it before council on the 7th. So I do appreciate that, and we'll do our best to get that to you and ready to go on the 7th. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Miller.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to begin by thanking the members of the community that came out here again this evening to speak on matters of public concern. Along with that, I'd also like to offer a personal apology to Mr. Morrison for not answering the emails that I have received. I want to let you know I am in acknowledgement of those emails. And as the information becomes available to me, I will be sharing that information with you as long as the general public. I'd also like to second some of the comments that Mr. Jacklin made tonight in regards to these cameras and everything. And I want all the members of, all the citizens of Mount Vernon especially, to realize that this is not a dead matter and your concerns are not falling upon deaf ears. And as we are able to investigate this more, I can promise you there will be another committee meeting on this, and we will continue to investigate this and try to bring it to some sort of resolution. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Reckman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. If we are hearkening back to what Mr. Mahan said earlier, I do have a matter to discuss if we're meeting for a special session on Labor Day, which would be resolution number 2026-89. So, Mr. Sherman, if you could make note of that. And that is, Council, that's a reauthorization of the Water Pollution Control Loan Fund, which is the financing mechanism that we're using for the wastewater treatment plant project. Something we've already authorized, but as it moves on, you have to reauthorize it if it hasn't been used, and in order to keep the project, basically, keep it on track and up to date so that we can work on this at the optimum time, it would be beneficial to be able to vote on that or discuss it at that special session. So that's all, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a reminder to the council, when you have a special meeting, you can only discuss resolutions and ordinances that were preset. You can't add things during that meeting. So that meeting will be for those two specific purposes. Thank you for the attendance this evening and the comments on matters of city concern. Thank you to the media for being here this evening. That being said, I call for adjournment.
So moved. Second.
And moving to second, we adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed nay. We are adjourned.